Hello and welcome to the Smoking Rubbers podcast. I'm your host, Aryan Sharma, joined with,
Distria.
and on today's episode, we will be talking about two of the greatest American sports cars ever produced. Of course, the Chevrolet Corvette and the Dodge Viper.
Yep. Yep. I honestly, these cars, they're very underrated in terms of like the performance. A lot of well-known manufacturers, like everyone seems to prefer German cars nowadays, but
Yeah,
I mean, they still get recognition for sports cars.
Yeah.
The Corvette and the Viper, definitely.
yeah, they are, of course, both of those are were very popular, still popular today. But I think in terms of when you think of performance and sports cars and all that, you don't really see these in the same sort of conversations as like your BMWs,
Yep.
your Mercedes Benz, and whatnot. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because these are really high performance vehicles for relatively affordable costs.
Well, yeah, no, that's a little bit debatable now because of the value and the
Yeah, well,
things
car
going
vacuums,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, before they were definitely sort of the main go-to vehicles, but now it's kind of
Yeah,
everyone wants a German car or a British car now. So,
yeah.
but I my personal favorite generation, I have to say, it'd be the C6 Corvette.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite one the ZR1 is my go-to. If we could have an image show up, it's like the carbon roof. It's just look at that thing, just the
Yeah,
wheels.
I think, yeah, the C6 is probably, I think it might be one of sort of the modern day definitive Corvette. Like when you think of a Corvette, you probably would think of the C6. The design profile. It's like
Yeah,
they went from sort of a little bit more of that rounded look from the C5.
Mm.
Like it looks a little, like, I would say it's like soft in terms of the edging, the points, to this much more this sharper, more angular design for the C6.
yeah.
And certainly with the sort of low profile that these Corvettes have, it looks like a proper sports car.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely and the styling too. I mean, even going back to like the original Corvette, my favorite generation obviously started with the C1 Corvette,
Yeah.
but I probably have to say probably the best, most classiest one is the C2 Corvette.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah, that's yeah. The C2, a classic. Certainly, like that's when they sort of like got the potential of the Corvette as the American sports car.
yeah, like it's almost like European, like very European
Yeah.
inspired, but it's an American take on it.
Yeah, like it looks like something maybe like a Ferrari or maybe a Lamborghini at the time. Certainly competing with those.
For sure, for sure. And then you got like a bunch of statistics on the Corvette.
Certainly so because with the build, I think majority of the Corvettes were built with a fiberglass body with that's allowed for lighter weight and handling. Of course, it also made it sort of sort of made it like less likely to corrode. But only biggest downfall with using sort of fiberglass is that they weren't really common, and they are very difficult to repair. So if there's cracks, scratches, bumps, any of that, they are very costly to repair, especially for the older models like the C2 and whatnot.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've always seen the Corvette kind of as the. Last week we talked about a few episodes ago we talked about we were talking about the
NSX.
Yeah, and that's like sort of the Japanese Ferrari.
Yeah,
Where the Corvette is always seen as the
American side. Yeah,
the American Ferrari. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and well, speaking of sort of models, you touched on the C6 and the C2. For me, I think my favorite model, partially because of nostalgia. Growing up, growing up, my parents actually had a C4 Corvette. It was a yellow C4.
Yeah.
Of course, that was childhood car, and I always sort of had a fascination, sort of loved having that. I think one of the most noticeable parts of the C4 for me were the pop-up headlights. They weren't just your typical pop-ups that just go up and down. They had this full-on like 180 spin rotation to them, and it looked really cool. Like I think that like made one of the most distinct sort of models in terms of its front. And certainly also its design. It's sort of what a modern Corvette is, you're still looking at like stuff like the C6, the C5,
Yeah.
and even the C7, very much still hold that sort of similarities to the C4.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And that anything too, like the C2 was actually like a Corvette with pop-up headlights, like
Yeah,
back in the early 60s.
Yeah,
pop-up
I,
headlights
actually, yeah, the
dating
C2.
back. That is very, like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, they pretty much up until the C5, they all, I think the C2, C5, they all had pop-ups. Very notable design.
Yeah. So I think, well, my another generation that I do like is the C7 ZR1, which would be the last Corvette ZR1 you could get with a manual transmission.
Manual
And it was
front-
capable of reaching over 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, it was.
That's terrifying. Supercharged. That's a scary car.
Yeah, the ZR1.
Yeah.
That is like top line model. I agree. It is a terrifying car.
Yeah.
It is terrifying. You'd be like just from its looks, all the extra aerodynamics they added,
Yep.
but also just the power it had. That was like probably one of the most high powered cars. Certainly was the most powerful Corvette they released.
Front wheel, the front mounted engine.
Yeah.
And then after they went to the mid engine.
Yeah, when they did with the
With the
C8.
Yeah.
And so can I ask what are your opinions on the C8?
I do like them. I see them around. I do like them. The ZR1 and the Z06 are definitely. I think they have turbos now, so no longer supercharged.
Yeah, I think
They are definitely like living up to the reputation of being the lesser expensive Ferraris.
Sort of, yeah.
Um,
And the design, having it be sort of mid-engine now, I think it's interesting because like the front end because they don't need to have the engine, where the front end's like they got a little shorter, but still having that angular point, whilst the back end still back end with the engine. It does give that sort of exotic sports car look.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think the most interesting model from the C8 so far, I would say for me is the E-Ray, which is the hybrid edition.
Oh, that's cool. That one is cool.
Yeah.
All-wheel drive. That's
all-wheel drive. I think dual motors.
They're more fuel efficient than a regular Corvette.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of interesting because I think it's about the same as like the Z06 for the C8 in terms of performance, but it's really just a baseline C8 with dual motors. So I always think that's sort of interesting how it's have like all these like modifications towards an engine. You can just put like a couple electric motors in it, and it's all of a sudden even more powerful.
Yeah, that's true. Because electric, hybrid vehicles, they got
That's
a lot of torque.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The torque on electric cars. If you haven't experienced it, it is like it's something else because it's you probably heard of it. It's not the gradual sort of shift that
It's
you
instant.
experience. It's instant. Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Actually, I was thinking, I think we could pull up the prices just to get a look at some of the prices of like newer Corvettes.
Yeah.
So it's because they've gone up and
they've gone up, but I think they're still really of course, compared to like the super expensive cars. Yeah. And certainly used models as well are fairly cheap, and you can hear this a lot of times in a lot of spaces that a used Corvette, especially like the C5 and the C6, they are fairly cheap. You can probably get a good model.
Well, even look at the C7. Like look at the price. It's still over 100,000 just for the Z06.
The Z06, yeah, certainly.
And but E-Ray almost 200,000. Damn, 175. I mean, it's brand new, but geez,
brand new, yeah.
But I mean, supercar performance versus a Ferrari or a McLaren. I mean, it's a lot cheaper.
Well, I think it's about the same price, but if you don't want to go for like the brand new route, you can get a used like C5 or C6 for around 25,000, 30,000, which is a pretty good deal if you ask me.
Oh, for sure. And then see how you got a 19, that's a C3 there.
Yeah.
But it's the prices they're getting up there.
Yeah,
a little pricier.
Certainly, if you want to get one, you surely should jump on that as soon as possible.
So I also wanted to. Anything else you kind of wanted to add to the Corvette, or?
I think certainly one more thing, and that's with the C5 and C6. They introduced probably one of the most famous engines ever, the LS engine, the V8, of course.
Yep. It can't go wrong with that.
Of course, it's extremely
popular.
And pretty much it's extremely popular. It's fairly reliable, like really good power. like easy power you get, just not even from modifications. In the C5, it came standard with a 345 horsepower for the base model alone. And that's not talking about, of course, the Z06 and whatnot.
Yeah.
In the Z06, that went up to about 405 horsepower. It had a 0-60 of 3.9 seconds, which is still crazy to take.
that is fast.
Like that is fast.
That is, yeah.
Like most cars nowadays are just creeping into that 3-second mark. Back in the 90s, you had a Corvette reaching sub 4 seconds.
And I also wanted to play a clip about a famous motoring journalist by the name of Jeremy Clarkson, his take on the Corvettes, and kind of summarizes what they're all about and what they sort of resemble. It's a funny, simple take on the thing they're about.
Now, whenever I'm presented with a group of Corvettes like this, I always think I'm looking at a boy band. They're very good looking, they're cheap, and they make a nice noise in a sort of middle of the road type way. But behind the scenes, they're all of them almost completely talentless and a bit flimsy. Look at that. Now, though, there's a new Corvette which has left the band and wants to be taken seriously. Here it is.
And that's the bit I wanted to show, and it's a nice sort of
Contrast
traditional
British journalist, American
humor
car.
on American cars and how they're sort of inferior, which is kind of funny because the irony is like European cars tend to be the worst vehicles in terms of reliability.
Of course, yeah.
Worse than
you always hear about car issues. It's usually a European car.
Yeah. My car, I think I wanted to bring up was I think a fair comparison would be the Dodge Viper.
Oh yeah.
And not the Hellcat. The Hellcat, I think, they're cool, but they're kind of overrated. And that right here, this is my favorite. This was from Need for Speed Most Wanted, which was funny enough, turned 20 years old about last week.
Wow.
So the 20th anniversary of this game. This was my favorite car, Blacklist number 4. Yeah, the 4th. Blacklist
Actually,
number.
speaking of video games and Vipers, I remember like a vivid memory of mine is the Forza Motorsport 4. I always chose the red Viper.
Nice.
I think SRT.
Nice.
Yes, that's one of my favorite cars.
Yeah.
If maybe a dream car I would ever get, the red Viper.
That's.
But at the same time, I feel like it'd be kind of scary to own because
you burn your leg on the exhaust when you get out.
That's just one of the things. I mean, I think certainly like thinking of like the first generation, that is a terrifying car to not only own, just to drive. I don't even think can you tell me if it had seatbelt standard?
I must have had it.
I mean, it might have. I think it probably did have seatbelt, but it didn't have a roof. It didn't have side mirrors. It didn't have even a roll bar. So if you flipped, you're toast.
I mean, yeah, that's some cars. It's a risk, but it's an experience. You buy an experience. That's what it is.
Certainly, of course. I think what also made the Viper notable was its engine. It didn't have like the V8 like a Corvette. It had a V10.
That's insane.
There's not many cars. Like, can you think of any cars that had a V10?
Other than a Lamborghini? Yeah, that's pretty crazy for an American car.
American, yeah.
And speaking of, another crazy thing that they did was they put a V10 in a pickup truck.
Oh, what?
The Ram. Yeah. It had the Viper engine in it.
That's wow.
So instead of the Ram TRX, they had back then, early 2000s, they had a V10 pickup truck.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like an interesting era of performance pickups. They like when you think of like a pickup truck, you think of like utility and sort of those sort of stuff. But like these cars, like the Ram SRT, the S10, like sort of the Ford what's it called?
The Ford Lightning.
Ford Lightning, yes.
Not the new one, but like you're talking
the old Ford Lightning 2000s. Yeah. Those were sort of meant to be like high performance pickups for like racing.
Yeah, I know. That's I believe that's the same motor they put into the Ford GT, the 05 Ford GT. That was and I think the SVT Cobra shared the same motor, but roughly the same.
I think it was Cobra.
Iconic.
I think it was like the Cobra Shelby engine in a Ford truck.
Yeah, two-door.
Two-door.
Now the Lightning came back, but
Right,
as
but-
an electric, which is
yeah.
still cool. I think it's cool, way better than the Cybertruck. I prefer that way than the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
I have, I think, another clip I have loaded up. I think it's, with Jeremy Clarkson again, talking about the Viper and kind of like the ridiculous safety stickers they
Yeah.
had to put on the car in order to just get it passed
Yeah.
out of the factory, just to comply with regulations.
Mhm.
So it's another take on
We have got warning notices here and here which say that death or serious injury can occur. Children as well can be killed. The back seat is the safest place for children. Right. This one here tells me that the exhaust pipe can get hot. That's a good one. The vehicle may include mercury-added devices, including rear seat video display. They are fairly determined it's got back seats, but this, I think, is the problem with health and safety bods. They live in a parallel universe. This, though, is my favourite. The top support behind the seats, that's this, is not a roll bar. This is an open vehicle. Drive carefully. No.
gotta love those things. It's
Yeah.
just sort of that. I gotta love that humor. Well, I mean, really, it's the same. That was the same concept back with the original Viper. You
Yeah.
could practically almost kill yourself if you
Drove it wrong. Just
yeah,
took a turn wrong way.
wrong turn, you're gone.
You're gone. It's certainly.
Yeah. So you
But
got
I think, yeah, certainly with the second gen, once all the sort of safety features Kirk got,
safety features.
safety.
just to get it past through standards.
Certainly, I think it's like the second gen. I think that's sort of the perfect Viper. In my opinion, it still had that sort of like edginess of the first one. You know, the raw power, the V10.
Yeah.
But you are driving a death trap pretty much.
I mean, yeah.
But maybe that's what you want.
Yeah. We also have some clips of the Vipers. I think not particular. I think it's the third generation Viper, but we have some clips of the Viper, just how it sounds going down the highway, which is glorious
The
sound.
V10.
Yeah.
So how can you tell?
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
like a V10. Like obviously that's my favorite gen, and that's why I picked up that picture of the car from Need for Speed, because it's green,
Yeah.
and I love that generation of Viper. If I could have one in green,
third gen, right?
I'm taking. Yeah, I believe that's the third gen.
Okay.
Yeah, the second gen would still be considered the 90s, but that's when they had added the roof
Yeah,
to it, an actual roof.
Yeah, actual roof.
So, but yeah, that's my favorite gen right there. And well, actually, I think we had just briefly shown a clip of sort of an evolution of them, just for more clarification, if people wondered which one is which. I was wrong, but I mean, it's still rough, relatively
Yeah, I
slight changes in
I think
between them.
I think one of the big things with the second to third gen was the front grille.
Hmm.
There's always something about like that sort of wider open style with the first and second gen, which made it look cool. And not saying the third gen looked bad or anything,
Yeah.
but I think that sort of that open like that Dodge sort of style T grille.
Yeah.
I think it looked like an actual Viper.
Mhm.
I think that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. Oh, and we did just have a clip right there of showing the last gen of the Viper. I think that's an ACR. In the
Yeah,
clip.
the ACR.
That's the. Can't go wrong with that.
Yep.
Just, I mean, blue and green, I'll take any color. and
Yeah.
the color. And the color
I think
from
blue
Chrysler.
certainly looks good. I'm preference for sort of the red.
Mhm.
I think any Viper, I think they should have the stripe, the striping, racing stripes.
Just like the Ford GT. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of naked without the stripes. It feels, but the Vipers,
Yeah.
I mean, with the stripe, without the stripe, they look good either way.
Yeah.
And I think we had some pictures. So that third gen,
Third gen.
I'm getting them mixed up. What I found really unique was kind of inspiring to me as a kid when I was like, I think it was 12 or 13 at the time. And I found out that the guy who designed the latest iteration of the Viper was black. Like
Oh.
that, I mean, that's not a big deal, but that was cool to me at the
Yeah.
time.
I think
Like,
it's a
wow,
yeah.
like seeing a black guy design that,
Yeah,
like that was really cool.
Yeah.
And he helped usher in the generation of Hellcats and Chargers,
Absolutely,
Challengers. The Challengers still relatively stayed the same in its design, but that was really like a big deal to me at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I had to say.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that concludes our episode. Again, I'm Destriat.
I'm Aaron Sharma, and thank you for watching the Smoking Rubbers podcast.